I had a good laugh today when I came up with the title of this video. Olympic Weightlifting Clinic. What you're about to see is probably the furthest thing away from a clinic that you can you can ever see. Like, it's just the moral of the story of this video is that I don't really know what I'm doing, man. I've never tried to snatch. I've done a few power cleans here and there. Weightlifting, I think, for me, as a spectator and somebody that's kind of spent a while of time with barbells, I think it's the best sport. It's the most, exciting sport to see. It's the most difficult, I feel. I could be wrong about these things. I mean, the only other sport that I can really care for is powerlifting. And powerlifting, for many, many reasons, rubs me up the wrong way, man. Like, it's just... In Olympic weightlifting is, snatch it up however you want to snatch it up, and clean and jerk however you want to clean and jerk. Like, it's very hard to cheat the system. In powerlifting, it seems like for the deadlift, there's two lifts, right? Two completely different lifts. For bench press, there's contortionists invading the world of powerlifting. It's like a freaking disease that's kind of permeated the damn sport. It is literally vomit central when I see somebody arch their back like a bridge, move the bar 1 inch, and call themselves a world-class bench presser. That drives me insane. So for all you guys that have said to me, why don't you compete in powerlifting, it's because of that stuff. It's appalling. It is destroying the sport in my eyes, and it's completely repelling anybody that's ever thought about doing powerlifting, and is kind of on the fence about it. It's like powerlifting for me is who is the strongest guy. Okay, Olympic weightlifting is not who is the strongest guy. Powerlifting should be who is the strongest guy. But when you have somebody arching their back like that, and then inconsistency with squatting, it's every lift pisses me off in a way, right? Olympic weightlifting, though, it's a thing of art. It's beautiful. It's not just about strength. It's about mobility. It's about flexibility. It's about speed. It's about technique, most of all, man. Like, it is so freaking technical. It is just a blend of beautiful attributes, beautiful aspects of human movement, all rolled up into one sport, and I think it's a beautiful thing. To snatch is not just about back strength. It's about many, many, many other things, and technique is probably the top of them. And also the people that are in the sport of weightlifting are squatting how I like to see squats done. To me, that's a beautiful squat. I fell in love with a accessory lift of weightlifting. That's what I fell in love with. The back squat that we see Clarence Kennedy do, pause at 300, clock of 250 front squat, and you name it. I've got many, many kind of, memories of people squatting. And a lot of these people, probably all of them, come from the world of Olympic weightlifting. Today I decided, as I rocked up to the gym, I wasn't even expecting this. Rocked up to the gym today, and I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling tired in my hamstrings. Like, I killed him yesterday with all those snatch grip RDL things that I was doing, stiff-legged deadlifts. So I wasn't feeling the greatest, and I thought, let's play. And the moment I grabbed the bar, I was like, why don't I just put it in a snatch position and try and snatch it up? One of you guys sent me a link, I think it was yesterday, sent me a link of Klokov. Once again, I don't even know what the hell they call this. Klokov did a snatch with 60 kilos from the bottom position. So just imagine him fully squatting down, snatch position, and then he doesn't use his legs. He just snatches the thing up, muscle snatch thing from a ATG position. It's ridiculous how strong that guy is. So anyway, I tried to do that initially with the bar. Couldn't even freaking do that with an empty bar. And then I was just kind of exploring. The cameraman and I were kind of having fun with it because, we're both giggling because, we've all seen, him and I both have seen Olympic weightlifting, competitions and professionals do it. And then here am I. I look like I've just literally walked into the gym for the first time in my life. I felt so awkward, so uncoordinated, so stiff, so unskilled. It's a humbling experience, but I enjoyed it. I had fun. It was really, really fun to kind of try and throw the bar. I'm doing power cleans. I was trying to do proper cleans, but I don't know, if I can. It's almost like a scary thing for me right now to kind of get under the weight. Where with power clean, I feel like if it doesn't land, then I just throw it. But if I try and squat it as the bar's falling, it shouldn't be falling, you should be catching it. But anyway, I'm so kind of new to the whole thing. I really don't want it to freaking fall on my lap or my knees or whatever. So there's a degree of fear there. I don't really know what I'm doing. Probably I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing some exercises, some regressions of these lifts to kind of learn the positions and whatever, but I don't have a coach. I don't have anyone around me to teach me, so I'm just going to have a crack at it. I'll try to keep safe. I don't want to get injured. I feel like Olympic weightlifting has, the injury risk goes through the roof because of speed. I've heard it many times before, speed kills. When you're trying to accelerate the bar and you're trying to catch the bar, I feel like a lot of things could go wrong, especially overhead. With shoulders, like I've got limited external shoulder rotation as well. So I'm thinking, last thing I want to do is do a shoulder here or freaking drop the bar on my knees or something like that. So there's a degree of fear associated with all of this. But I think moving forward, what I really like to do is probably I should just leave it at one plate or even like half a plate. Like leave it at 10 kilos and just go through the motions. A lot of you guys have said there's probably it's beneficial to have high frequency with Olympic weightlifting because it truly is a skill thing. It's a skill acquisition thing. It's a technical thing. So if I, every day, put on 40 kilos and try and, clean and jerk properly and actually kind of clean it, not just power clean it, I should start getting a little bit better with it. But it was fun. A lot of you guys have said it's not even about what you're doing. It's just the act of learning something new. And for me, being a spectator, being somebody from the outside in, looking at the sport, it's really it looks fun. And today I kind of tried it and it looks fun. And you can see I'm laughing and giggling with the cameraman and he's giving me feedback. Not that he's an expert either, but we just kind of like, no, what you got to do is this, man. Two of us trying to work out what's going on. I had a really good time, but it's really, really humbling. 100 kilos for me on the deadlift is nothing. Literally nothing. I don't have to think about it. But power cleaning 100 kilos, there's something about it, man. I don't really know. I've heard these terms used before, and I'm not going to pretend like I know what that really means, but first and second pull or whatever, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I'm trying not to move the bar too quickly in the first pull. I'm trying to make the acceleration happen in the second pull and kind of snap the hips up and go from there and whatever. And but clean and jerk, cleaning, just power cleaning, really, 100 kilos it's kind of hard, man. It's kind of hard. It feels like, well, I don't know, the difficulty seems kind of like a 200 kilo deadlift. It's kind of strange like that. It's 100 kilos, but you have to accelerate it so much so that you have enough lift in the bar so you have enough time to get underneath it. Not that I was getting underneath it, I was just power cleaning it. So it's a different thing, completely different thing. 100 kilos feels a whole lot different when you're trying to accelerate the bar. And then this thing, I thought to myself after I did a whole bunch of those exercises, whatever you want to call them, a butchery of exercises. I tried to do the overhead squat, and my Lord, my upper back, man. I'm just not mobile enough. I feel like I have to do super wide stands, to even accommodate that sort of upright posture that you need. That is a goal of mine now, to actually just learn how to do an overhead squat. I was saying to the cameraman, I'm so used to bench pressing that this thing is completely different. It's completely opening up your chest, completely stretching everything out, fighting for that verticality. The hip flexors were screaming, and I was trying to, in between these kind of clips, I was doing kind of hip stretches and mostly hip flexors, just trying to open them up a little bit so I can get into some of these positions. But man, mobility is a big thing when it comes to all this. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to be strong and super mobile at the same time. I think that is the attraction when it comes to Olympic weightlifting. This is why I believe I fell in love with seeing some of these guys do the squats, because it's such a beautiful thing, man. It's such a beautiful thing to see somebody exhibit strength through the full range of motion. I think, that would be my, that would be my most exciting moment, in terms of competition. You know, if I went to a powerlifting meet and I did my squat the way I squat and I did my deadlift the way I deadlift and I got beaten by somebody who benches freaking with a really arched back and does sumo deadlift and does a, you know, what I call a half squat or a low bar, you know, wide stance squat, I'd be like, man, I don't belong here, man. Why am I even here? Like, this is not about strength anymore. This is just about using the rules to your advantage. How can you have one guy squat full depth? How can you have one guy conventional, one guy sumo? Like, what are we doing, man? Like, why isn't it standardized of some sort? Like, how about a flat back? How about we actually see what this guy can press? How about that? Well, newsflash. Let's see who the strongest guy in the competition is. Not who can freaking have the bar move an inch. Like, in Olympic weightlifting, nothing exists like that. You know, everyone moves the bar the same distance, right? From the floor to overhead. That's it. Go for it. Do your worst, do your best, whatever you want to do. But in powerlifting is just, that's why in my eyes, I don't know, you might not agree, Olympic weightlifting seems like, I don't know, it has the best blend of attributes that I care about. I wish powerlifting was ATG squats, flat back bench, and conventional deadlift. If that was it, man, I'll be signing up to all sorts of freaking comps, man. 4 or 5 times a year. Let's do it. I would love to do that. But it puts a sour taste in my mouth when it's not that, you know. And so this is why I look over to Olympic weightlifting, even though it is so freaking technical and I feel like it will take me 10 years to even learn what's going on. That's kind of one of the repellents of Olympic weightlifting, is such a steep learning curve, man. I don't really know what I'm doing, man. But I'm excited. I'm excited to start learning these positions, really just start to flirt with some of these positions that you need to be in as an Olympic weightlifter. So maybe this is what I'm going to do in the next, especially on days like this, man. I'm so stiff. Like, my hamstrings are just completely jacked up. My back is tired. Everything's tired. Especially days like this, man. Well, it's easy just to, you know, do overhead squats and pretend to snatch and pretend to clean and jerk and all these kinds of things. Just like introduce some of these movement patterns into my brain. You know, this is what's happening. We can blend some of these things, deadlift and a squat together. Like, how cool is that? I'm excited. I'm really excited to kind of do these things. So I reckon this is what I will do moving forward. Like, mess around with these types of lifts as a warm-up. Obviously, the weights are going to be way down. Today, I shouldn't have done what I did, you know, power cleaning, 100 kilos, all that. I don't need to do that. My movement is so far off optimal that I don't want to get up to that weight at all. I think I'll stick to like just 60 kilos on the clean and jerk, and just really learn how to actually do the second pull, how to catch the bar properly, and go into a front squat. Just, you know, start going through the motions, connecting the deadlift, the front squat, and the overhead press. That's kind of how I see it. Although it's not really a deadlift and it's not really a, you know, overhead press. It's more like, you know, jerking motions or whatever. But I reckon I'll do that. So 60 kilos for that, and just an empty bar for snatching, really. I don't have the mobility for the shoulders. I don't have the mobility to stay that upright for the snatch at all. But as it is right now, I feel, I don't know, this is probably just me being silly, but I reckon I prefer the snatch. For some reason, it just feels so cool to have your arms out super wide like that. Kind of feels like a superhuman kind of, like, all back. And you guys know me, man. Like, I'm quite confident in my back. Like, I feel like that's where my strength is. When I squat, I want to lean over. When I deadlift, I want to lean over. Like, it's so when I'm in that snatch position, I feel like, yeah, man, like, let's go. I can throw this thing. The trouble is with snatch is that I feel like I will snap in half if I caught that thing, you know, in the ATG position. My fear is, like, okay, so I try and catch it in the ATG position. What if the bar goes backwards? I feel like I don't have enough external rotation. Like, I've seen people fail the snatch backwards, and I've always gone, damn, man, like, I don't think my shoulders can do that. Like, I'll just snap. I feel like the rotator cuff would just blow up. That's kind of what's there's a fear component there, really. I don't want to get injured, and speed kills, right? So if you're going to use speed to practice these movements, you better lower the weight. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to lower the weight. And it's funny, right? It's funny if somebody that can squat deadlift 6 plates, to have no plates on the bar and practice snatching is kind of strange. But anyway, it's fun. And that's the bottom line. It is fun to learn a new skill. It's fun to finally do Olympic weightlifting. I don't even know if it's possible now to learn Olympic weightlifting on your own. Do you need coaching? I don't know. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments that I'm completely off. I don't really know what I'm doing, which I completely agree with you guys. Maybe some regressions are the right thing for me to do. Maybe just learn the overhead press, the overhead squat, snatch grip. Maybe I should learn that. Get up to 60 kilos in that and then start to learn how to snatch. Maybe that's probably a smarter thing to do than just try snatching the bar. Anyway, it's cool. It's really, really cool. I've been watching a whole bunch of videos today after the gym of guys who actually know how to do. And this is the thing, man. This is the thing that really stuck out in my mind. You go back and you watch Klokov, right? I've just had a bit of an experience of, not that I snatched, but whatever. Like you snatch the bar, and then you see some of these pros do what they do, man. It makes you respect them so much more. Like, that is insanity what people are doing, man. Insanity. Like, I couldn't imagine myself snatching 100 kilos. I couldn't even imagine that. And there are people snatching what numbers? How much weight? Jesus Christ. I don't even know what muscles they're using in their shoulders and the elbows. Like, what is going on there? Like, what's holding that weight up? Just insanity. So newfound respect for these guys at the top. When you're powerlifting and you look at Olympic weightlifting from that angle, you're like, whatever, it's only 200 kilos. No, man. Accelerating 200 kilos is a different ball game. And then catching it in those positions. Jesus Christ. And the thing about having the weight over your head is that it's such a long, like, it just extends your center of mass. It's just, balance becomes an issue. Like, you're walking backwards and forwards, and it's just unbelievable. It's an unbelievable thing, and it really kind of makes you look at one plate, two plates from a different angle, man. It really does. It really, really does. So after I did all of that, went up to front squats, did my thing with front squats. And because my hamstrings are completely jacked, I decided, look, let's just hit the quads now a bit. I did, what did I do? 8 sets of 30 of the bodyweight squats. And then I went over to the hack squat machine for the first time in a very long time. And the idea behind that was, I'd like to progress these bodyweight squats, these Hindu squats or heel elevated squats. And I thought, why don't I just use the hack squat machine, put some weight on the bar. I can do a free weight, with the barbell, but the balance issue becomes a thing, especially if you start adding a bit of weight on. And I don't want to have to be going backwards and forwards and worrying about balance. Hack squat machine seems to be a good idea for that. And automatically the first thought is Tom Platz. We've all seen Tom Platz do what he does on the hack squat machine with knees way, way, way over your toes. Doing it that way. I try to do it. I think I worked up to, what did I work up to? 30 kilos a side, I think I had. That's a hell of an exercise, man. Really, really exposes the knee. I'm guessing if you are somebody with not so strong knees or maybe a history of knee pain or knee injuries, it's probably not the best idea for you. Definitely, obviously, start with just body weight stuff. But this felt good. Felt good for the knees, felt good for the hips as well. And that was the session. Tomorrow I'm going to come in again and I'll mess around with the bar again, Olympic weightlifting kind of stuff. Just have fun, man. I'm just going to have fun. This is the whole thing, man. I said it to somebody else, like, even though I have this following now and I have all these people watching me, have so much support now, I really, really don't want this to become a job. You might not disagree with me for this. Like, a lot of you guys are like, why don't you make this something that you earn a living from? Like, I'm so far away from making a living out of this, like, completely. I can't support my family and the house and cars and all that off of that. There's no way I can do that. And people are saying, why don't you do this, that, the other, sponsors this, sponsors that. Man, I really don't want this to become a job. I want this to become, the hobby. I want it to stay something I love. And if you start doing things that you don't love just because of money, you start to ruin it, man. And I don't have too many things in my life that I can replace this. I love this, man. This is my love, man. I love to do this. I don't want to spoil it because other people are ideas are infiltrating my stuff and I have to do this for the money or whatever. I've always said no. A lot of you guys are like, why don't you put ads in the middle of the videos? Simple reason is because I hate watching videos that have that. I don't want, like, if I'm watching something and I'm in the midst of something and somebody throws a commercial in, come on, man, especially the non-skippable ones, like sitting there for like 15, 20 seconds, completely takes me out of the whole vibe and thought process and all that. So that's why I said from the beginning, man, I will never do that. I will never want to do that. It just ruins my own videos. I don't want to be that guy, right? I want to do it the right way. So if you guys are watching me, watching my videos, and I've stimulated some sort of thought process, a cascade of thinking, and then all of a sudden, boom, freaking commercial about groceries, man. What the hell, man? It just kills the vibe, right? So I'm never going to do that, because the whole idea is that I love this and I want it to stay something that I love. I don't want to start thinking about money and supporting my family through it. No, I'm happy being a nurse, and I just want to make this, you know, what it is, right? Maybe one day I'll be able to support myself while doing something that I love. But I've been rejecting a lot of these offers of do this and we'll give you this. No, I don't want to do this, man. Go tell somebody else to do this. I want to do what I want to do, man. I want to do my journey and lifting and talk about what I want to talk about. So that's kind of been my vibe for the onset. And anyway, I hope some of you guys appreciate what I've just said. Speaking of support, I've got a fella I would like to mention in today's video, Chad Crawshaw. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, my man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for the support. Obviously, like you probably heard many times me say this, it really does make a difference. It makes a difference to my life. It makes this, you know, become much more than love. I'm actually thinking that maybe one day this can be something I'll support my family with. I just want to continue doing what I want to do, make the videos that I want to make, and display the passion in these videos that I naturally feel towards some of these topics and not something forced. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for the support. Like all the other names on the list, it just means the world to me, guys. And obviously, thank you for the comments and the interactions we have on Instagram as well. It's all appreciated, because you probably guys already worked it out. I love this stuff. I love learning. You guys saw me in this video make myself not a complete fool of myself, but I'm a complete noob when it comes to Olympic weightlifting. You guys saw I'm far away from anything that's decent in weightlifting, even though I have this strength, displaying it through that type of, you know, language of body movement. It's a different thing. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out.